So here we have a robot traveled 4 meters in 8 seconds. So if we look at what we got here, 4 meters is a distance, 8 seconds, well that's a time, and they're saying what was the speed of the robot. So if we fill in our equation, speed equals distance over time, and then we put in our numbers. Speed is what we're trying to find. The distance is 4 meters, 8 seconds. 4 divided by 8 is going to be 0.5 meters per second. Number 17, similar thing, if a car traveled 12 meters, that's a distance, in 3.5 seconds, that's a time, but we're trying to find speed. So again, we have speed equals distance over time, and if we fill that in here, speed's what we're trying to find. We get 12 meters divided by 3.5 seconds. So that one's a little bit harder for our numbers, so we can put that into decimals. And if I pull that over here, we get 12 divided by 3.5. So here again, we want to round, so we gotta be careful here. We want at least 2 digits, so if we round to the hundredths place, it'd be 3.4, the 2 would round up to a 3, so 3.43. So we can put that in there, 3.43 meters per second. And let's see, 12, 3.5, yep. Just double checking the numbers. So now we come down here to number 18. A student drove with her family to the West Coast. If they had an average speed of 68 miles per hour and they had to travel 1,953 miles, that's a distance, to get to San Francisco, how many hours of driving? So if you're saying how many hours, you're trying to find time. So again, we start with our equation, speed equals distance over time, and then we fill in our numbers. So we're going 68 miles per hour, and that's going to be equal to our distance, 1953 miles, over our time. So here we have miles per hour, and we have miles, so our answer here is going to be in hours. So that's good. And now we have the question, how do we get time by itself? So right now, time's stuck on the bottom of the fraction, so I'll multiply both sides by time. The time cancels out on the right side, and we get left with time times 68 equals 1953. Okay, at this point here, we need to get rid of the times 68 so we get the t by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by, let's see if I can pull this down a little bit. Divide both sides by 68. And now put our answer in. So the 68's cancel on the left side, and we get time equals 1953 divided by 68. So we can put that up in here. 1953 divided by 68, so 28.72 hours. Okay, so you can put that in. We can go on to the next page now. Last 2 problems here. An ant can travel 5 centimeters per second, so that is a speed. How many meters? Okay, so they're asking for how many meters. That's asking for a distance. Can the ant travel in 1 hour? So it's a time. So again, we have speed equals distance over time, and we put our numbers in. So we get 5 centimeters per second is equal to the distance we're trying to find in 1 hour. So here we have a problem that seconds and hours are not the same. So we're going to do a side calculation to figure out how many seconds are in 1 hour. So if we think about 1 hour, if we multiply by 60 minutes per hour, and we multiply by 60 seconds per minute, the minutes here are going to cancel out, the hours are going to cancel out, and we need to do 60 times 60 to get our number of seconds in 1 hour. So we can put that into decimals. 60 times 60 So we get 3,600. So if we go back in here, and I'll just do it down here below, we get 5 centimeters per second is equal to our distance we're trying to find over 3,600 seconds. So here we have to get distance by itself, so we'll multiply both sides by 3,600 seconds. And the 3,600 seconds goes away on the right, so all we're left with is distance here. And we can see here we got to do 3,600 times 5 and put that in your calculator for the distance, and that will be our answer in centimeters. We're almost done here because when I put our answer in centimeters, let's get that. We get 3,600 times 5, so 18,000. And if we go back to our review here, we get 18,000 centimeters. Now we want our answer to be in meters, so we're going to have to do some conversion here. I'm just going to multiply it by a conversion factor. 1 meter is the same thing as 100 centimeters. So when I multiply by this conversion factor here, it's just multiplying by 1. So I'm not going to change anything in my answers, but I'm going to change my units because centimeters is going to cancel out. And so if I get 18,000 and then I have to divide by 100, that would give me my answer in meters. So dividing by 100 is the same as taking off 2 zeros. So that leaves 180 meters is for our distance. And then number 20, we have a toy plane flew 15 meters, so it's a distance, in 12.5 seconds. That's a time. How long would the plane take to fly 1 mile? So this one here, we have 2 distances. The first one, these distance and times go together. And if we know a distance and time, that tells us we can find the speed. So speed equals distance over time. And we get 15 meters in 2.5 seconds. And if we do that math quick, we get 15 divided by 2.5. And we get 6 meters per second. So we can put that in here, equals 6 meters per second. And now we have to think about the second distance. How long, well, that's what we're trying to find a time here, would the plane take to fly 1 mile? So this is a separate distance and time. So I'm going to put the speed equals distance over time in. The one thing we do know, it's the same plane, so we can use this speed that we found. And then we have to get 1 mile. If we looked up on our formula sheet, 1 mile is the same thing as 1,609 meters. So instead of using mile, I'm going to use the answer in meters since my speed's in meters per second. So I get 6 meters per second equals 1,609 meters divided by time. And now here we have to get time by itself. Again, it's stuck on the bottom of a fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides by time. And I'm going to be left with time times 6 meters per second on the left. On the right, the times are going to cancel out. Dividing by time and multiplying by time undo each other. So I'm left with 1,609 meters. Then we have to get time by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 6 meters per second. And again, here we got meters and meters are going to cancel away. We have seconds, that's going to be our left for our answer. So the 6 meters are going to go away on the left. We get time equals, and we got to do 1,609 divided by 6. And that'll be our answer in seconds.